Live from our 7 Tasmania studios, your nightly news with Tom Johnson begins now.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. Church leaders have delivered messages of hope at Easter vigils across Tasmania. Congregations gathered to celebrate the Day of Faith, while other community members commemorated the holiday in their own way.
Singing rang out from cathedrals as worshippers took to the pews to embrace their faith on Easter Sunday.
Having good music in the liturgy makes an enormous difference of people being able to give expression to their faith, expression to their joy, and get uplifted in spirit.
Of course, Amazing Grace. Yeah. Always stirs the heart, especially when played with the pipes. Beautiful.
Healthy attendance and a full choir, a sign of religious services rising again after being hampered by pandemic restrictions.
We've been through all the COVID issues, and to see the church full this morning, as it has been several times during our ceremonies, has been really encouraging.
Makes me put on my best coat and come along here to enjoy the service.
Getting their true sense of community back for a congregation of significance.
Particularly because of remembering Jesus' resurrection, but it's not just the fact of it, it's what it means, which is the forgiveness of sins.
Thousands of people turned out to churches across the state to celebrate what is one of the holiest days of the year, while others tuned into live-streamed services which have remained popular after being introduced during the height of the pandemic.
And even people in other parts of the world like to tune in, and so the live streaming has actually been a very good thing. It's provided an opportunity for many people who, for one reason or other, can't get to church.
Elsewhere, families were celebrating the holiday at Hobart's Farmgate Market, while organisers ticked off one of their busiest days of the year.
There's lots of visitors in town. They're always looking for something to do. And also too, this is a weekly shopping ritual for locals, so it's a bit of a no-brainer. So yeah, it was a boomer day.
A day in the park also proved popular in Launceston, most Tasmanian children with a belly full of chocolate eggs.
Easter bunny, a box of chocolates and all that, a couple of eggs.
To burn all the energy off all the chocolates I had this morning, so one way to do it.
Grace Evans, 7 Tasmania News.
The state's active COVID case count has dipped below 10,000 for the first time in almost 4 weeks. A man in his 80s died while living in a southern aged care facility. He was the 30th Tasmanian to pass away since borders reopened. There were just over 1,200 new cases recorded overnight. 47 people were in hospital, including 20 being treated for COVID, with 1 in the ICU. After spending over a decade without a dedicated local read, West Coast locals have created their own newspaper. The new Western Echo is 6 editions in and going from strength to strength as residents send in their own articles.
When he moved to the West Coast last year, Alan Jennison found there hadn't been a paper based in the area since the Western Herald folded in the noughties.
I came and met lots and lots of people, spoke to them, asked them if they wanted a newspaper, what sort of newspaper. Everybody on the West Coast said, yes, we want a newspaper.
And so the career publisher birthed the Western Echo. From this Orr Street office, he's releasing monthly editions, filled cover to cover with submissions from West Coasters.
They all said they wanted community stories, and that's what I've done from day one.
Adventure sports plaster the front page of this month's 5th edition, while local schools are given a page for aspiring journos.
It creates life in a community and it supports reading, and I just think it's just a wonderful way of expressing ourselves.
This Green Thumb's Dirty column reviews the West Coast's best gardens. She says the area is brimming with beautiful beds.
A lot of people concentrate on the plant, but it's all about the wealth of the soil and what you actually create out of that, and you can actually do that anywhere.
The West Coast business community have gotten behind the paper, with some jumping on board as sponsors and shops from Strawn to Stanley selling the paper.
A lot of locals come through and they know that we have the paper in here, so Saturday mornings they come in and grab them. A lot of tourists come through and they want to have something that's local.
Alan's got plans to make the Western Echo bigger and better by taking on a cadet, and he's constructing an internet radio station in his office. Local media coverage, he says, is vital for the future of the West Coast.
Let people in Strawn know what's happening in Queenstown. Let people know what's happening in Tulla and Rosebery. I think that's vital for a community. It just, that sense of cohesiveness, I guess.
Josh Duggan, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmanian farmers and local governments hit hard by storms last spring can now access financial support. Recovery funds will be given to the Central Highlands, Southern Midlands and Derwent Valley councils after flash flooding, winds and hail affected the areas. Producers in the Huon and Derwent Valleys can also apply for grants of $10,000 by contacting the Department of Natural Resources and Environment or State Growth. The Jack Jumpers have pulled off a miraculous come-from-behind win to keep their finals hopes alive heading into the last round of the season. Down by 12 at half-time against the South East Melbourne Phoenix, Josh Adams, Josh Majette and Jack McVeigh all lifted in the second half to steal an 84-80 win.
Tasmania knew they were in for a tough day. The Phoenix were the only side they hadn't beaten this season. The Jack Jumpers made their presence known early, but it was all even at quarter time. The home side, however, broke the game open in the second, going on a 29-point to 17 run.
Step back, straight three. Got it, can't step off him.
Isaiah Lafar starring as the lead went into double digits. Josh Adams was fired up at the umpires, while the Phoenix sharpshooters were flying high.
Found Mumford somehow. He found Creek.
Jared Weeks gave Tasmania some hope on the halftime buzzer, but they were still 12 points down. Whatever Scott Roth said at half-time worked. Josh's Majette and Adams nailing crucial points as they stormed back into the contest.
Adams, they just let it go.
A 32-point to 18 quarter, giving the Jack Jumpers a 2-point lead.
Majette, again.
Both sides' finals hopes were on the line in the final term. Mitch Creek lifted for South East Melbourne, but Jack McVeigh stood tall for Tasmania's team. With 5 to play, Scott Roth had a simple message.
Grind it out, tough mentality. Together, 1, 2, 3, together.
And that they did, nailing crucial shots when it was needed most.
To the Phoenix have presented. Oh dear. Bang!
Their defence also standing up in some nervous moments as Tasmania stole a famous win. Jack Jumper fans smiling at the end, while the Phoenix's season is now ashes. John Hunt, 7 Tasmania News.
Tasmania's under-18 men's basketball side has rounded out a big day for the sport locally, taking out bronze at the National Championships. Facing New South Wales country, the boys came out to play from the opening whistle. They made a strong start, leading by 19 points at half-time. New South Wales made a fight back, getting within 6 midway through the final quarter, but Tasmania held firm in the final term to record a 94-80 win. The victory sparking wild celebrations on court after the match. Launceston soccer player Nathaniel Atkinson is set to play in his first major final since joining Scottish club Heart of Midlothian. He played the full 90 minutes for Hearts as they defeated bitter rival Hibernian 2-1 to book a place in the Scottish final overnight. The two stunning goals in the space of 5 minutes securing the win.
Kingsley gets it back from Boyce. Oh my goodness me! Absolute classic from Stephen Kingsley.
It's their third final in 4 seasons. Hearts will play either Ange Postecoglou's Celtic or Rangers on May 21. Longfellow has lived up to pre-race status as the bookies' favourite, taking out the prestigious Easter Cup in Launceston last night. Looking for its 4th win in a row, the 4-year-old started well, taking the lead early in the race. It then held off a number of fast finishers to win the $100,000 race.
Running on reasonably okay. Shannon's the man in the straight. Longfellow in front. The outside trying hard like a wildfire. Sunny Sands comes late. In front Longfellow. Sunny Sands and like a wildfire. Hit the line. Longfellow narrowly.
Longfellow was paying $1.80 for the win. An ill-timed crash has derailed Alex Peroni's race weekend at Le Castellet. Qualifying was red flagged when his Algarve racing car yet to set a time. Despite impressive practice times, Peroni's number 47 car will need to start the European Le Mans Series race from the back of the grid. Tasmania Olympic gold medalist Ariane Titmus is one of a host of Aussie swimming stars set to skip this year's World Championships. Swimming Australia has confirmed the 21-year-old, along with Kyle Chalmers, Emma McKeon and Kate Campbell, are instead prioritising the upcoming Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. It means the Terminator's next matchup with rival American Katie Ledecky won't be until next year's World Championships.
Good evening everyone. 26 degrees in Hobart today, Launceston 24 and 22 in Devonport and Burnie. Across the state, Bushy Park the top of 28 degrees, Flinders Island and Grove 27, 25 in Strawn, Wynyard and Friendly Beaches 22 and 16 in Lyowini. Patchy cloud can be seen across the state today with a frontal cloud band moving over the west coast late this afternoon. Further out, cloud over southeastern South Australia, Western Victoria and Western Tasmania is associated with a cold front, while cloud over Western Australia is due to a trough. Tomorrow, a cold front lies over the northeast of Tasmania, while troughs lie over Victoria, South Australia, Northern Territory and northern Western Australia. High pressure ridges lie over the east and southwest of the country. North to northwesterly winds tomorrow 15 to 25 knots about the north and east, and west to southwesterly winds 10 to 20 knots about the west and south. 17 degrees in Hobart tomorrow, a shower or two, and 17 in Dover and Ouse. Launceston showers and 20, 19 in Devonport, Scottsdale reaching 18. 19 degrees in Burnie and Stanley tomorrow, showers easing, and 17 in Strawn. And St Helens and Swansea both showers and 18 and 16 in Ross. On Tuesday, showers about the northeast, possibly extending to the central north and east. Showers about the west and Bass Strait Islands on Wednesday, snow lowering to 800 metres in the far south. And on Thursday, showers about the west, south and central areas, easing during the afternoon. Sunny in Perth tomorrow, rain and 19 in Melbourne, partly cloudy in Canberra and Brisbane, and a possible shower and 30 degrees in Cairns. And currently 22 and showers in Hobart, Launceston 19 and cloudy, and Devonport 18 and rain. And that wraps up Easter Sunday's weather. Tom, I hope you managed to get into a few eggs today.
Yeah, definitely had a sugar hit, that's for sure. Thanks very much for that, Chelsea. And that's all from us here tonight. Kim's back in the chair tomorrow. Thanks so much for joining us, and good night.